Before we get to today's video, be sure to check out the sponsor of the channel, Dueling. They specialize in awesome deck boxes, binders, as well as awesome cloth and rubber playmats for all your dueling needs. And be sure to use my discount code SLIM on checkout to save yourself some money. And let's get into today's video.
What's going on, you guys? Slim here with a new video, and today, you guys, I'm talking about these two ban lists that have come out. I know I'm pretty late to the party, but I wanted to take some time to analyze them and really just see their possible impact on us here in the TCG. Now, of course, we had our ban list. It took effect, and you know, we're basically waiting for Rage of the Abyss coming out literally tomorrow, this week. Like, it's crazy. Like, everything is going to change, and you know, we're going to get Furos, we're going to get Dominus Impulse. Like, a lot of things are going to change, but I actually wanted to take the time to talk about the OCG ban list as well as the Master Duel ban list real quick, and just talk about like what their impact could potentially mean for the TCG. So hopefully you guys enjoy. Be sure to smash that like button, subscribe if you do enjoy, and please give me feedback in the comment section down below if you want to see more OCG coverage and possible Master Duel coverage here and there. I'll be honest, with the Master Duel stuff, it'll mostly be just you know, when the ban lists come, if there's any possible impact it can have on the TCG. But yeah, we'll see what happens in the future. It might be part of our future streaming, but we'll get into it. So with the OCG ban list, this list was actually huge. It was absolutely huge. I believe they said in total it was 34 changes. And of course, you know, there was a time where we were co-aligned with the OCG. We used to get our ban list at the exact same time. And now, you know, they have a set date. We do not, is the best way to say it. We get our list when we get our list, so it is what it is. But it's always interesting to see what they do out there in the TCG, or out in the OCG, and to see how it will actually impact us here on the TCG. But we'll get into it. So real quick over the Forbidden, Beatrice is the only card that got Forbidden. This is something that happened to us. It happened to them. We're in perfect alignment with that. This card was just super abusable, you know, in both formats, and it just made sense that they did this. What I really wanted to focus on more, though, was this, because this was a lot. So many cards literally went to one, and it really makes you think, you know, are these potential things that could happen in the TCG? Now, one major factor that we always have to address is that they have Maxi. We do not have Maxi. Yes, we're gonna have Furos. We do have Perulia. We have the two Mall Chummies, but they are not Maxi. They are what I truly do believe will be a replacement for Maxi. And when we get to the rest of the list, you'll see what I mean. Like, I'm sure you guys have seen this, but we'll talk about it. Just going over simple things. Dryden and Masterpiece going to 1. Everyone like freaked out seeing Masterpiece go to 1. Dryden coming back to 1. Honestly, I just don't think it makes any difference. The card is at 3 in Master Duel. It literally doesn't do anything. You know, gone are the times when you would just have, you know, like the Zodiac deck and you just play it with Mystic Mind, you know, just Zeus Turbo. Yeah, you could still Zeus Turbo, but it's really just not that effective. Masterpiece, I really thought, like, when this card came back that, you know, it was like, oh my god, this is gonna have like a huge impact. But then I was listening to Farfa and Joshua Schmidt's stream, you know, shout out to them, Heart of the Cast, definitely check it out. And they brought up a very interesting point. The thing that makes True Draco good is actually the floodgates. The floodgates are what made True Draco Stun such a powerful deck. Like, shout out to James. Sorry, James. Masterpiece to 1. You know, they have 3 diagram. It's pretty interesting. I don't really know if it will have a huge impact. Do I think that's something they do here in the TCG? Eventually, I want to say yes. I want to say, like, we could have Masterpiece back, and I don't think it would absolutely warp the format. We have Skill Drain at 1. Yeah, there's Monarch Erupt, so yeah, we would technically have 4 Skill Drains if we want to, you know, include those. But I feel like there's just so many counters to Masterpiece that there weren't before. So definitely something that, if it did come back, I don't think it would warp the format, but I could potentially see it happening. Now, Dragoon. Dragoon was banned over in OCG, and then it went to 1. We still have Dragoon here, and just there's no difference, sadly. Like, this card used to be one of my favorite cards. Played it in Guru all the time. It's just not what it used to be. It's crazy to think, because this card on paper is one of the most broken cards ever printed. It's just not good enough in these crazy formats. So I really don't see it, you know, making any difference. I don't think they're gonna touch it here in TCG, and it won't make a difference overall. Snatch Steal, same thing. Snatch Steal is at 1. They're lining up with us, and it's, you know, it's fine. Snatch Steal hasn't broken the format either. Now, the things that we really wanted to focus on, you know, we have to get all the nitty gritty out of the way, but the real reason to talk about this is because look at these next set of hits. They limited Diabellstar, Poplar, Chandra, Phantom of Yubel, Engraver, Tracked Bonfire, all to 1. Like, they've literally hit almost every card. I think they said every card in Snake Eyes has literally been limited. You have 1 Witch, 1 Poplar, 1 Bonfire. Like, that is just crazy. In some crazy world, the deck may still work. It's like Tier Elements, where you can hit it as many times as you want. People are still going to try.
I don't know if it's going to be the same thing here, though. Like, literally, you have that one Poplar and you draw it. It's just awful. Like, it's ridiculous. I could see people maybe using it as like a sub engine, and I just don't know if it's something that'll really, what's going to happen to it in OCG. Now, apply it to the TCG. Do I see all these potential hits happening? Honestly, it could. It really could. Like, they could, if they wanted to line up with the OCG and do all these hits, it'd be pretty crazy. Like, we have Ash to 1. Poplar would be, Poplar to 1, Witch to 1 would be crazy, Bonfire to 1 would be nuts. That was something we all thought would potentially happen, and I don't think that it's something that's going to happen just yet, but I feel like on the next ban list, our upcoming ban list, whenever that is going to absolutely just massacre Snake Eye, and they could do something very similar to this, and I think it would definitely hit the deck dramatically. And then, of course, that does open the doors for the new gates that are coming. We have the Malice deck, we have the Ryzel deck. Like, those are really like what they're going to focus on. We all know how this works. A couple decks are the top kings for a while. They get touched multiple times, and then eventually they're kind of by the wayside, and unfortunately they're just skeletons of what they used to be, and I potentially do see that happening again. Now, Chandra to 1 hurt me in the soul because I do love Tenpai. Guilty pleasure, I do like that deck a lot. Chandra to 1 is absolutely crazy. Having only 1 Chandra, yes, you could still OTK, you could still get everything off because you still have your 3 Kaim and you only have 1 field spell, but Chandra to 1 was actually nuts. Like, this was the card, like, honestly, this was a good hit, and by doing this, you really do take away like the real like insaneness that is Tenpai. Chandra is the best dragon in the deck. Like, it's literally not even close. Like, it's better than Pydra, it's better than Fadra, it's better than Genroku. This card is just absolutely crazy, and limiting it to 1 really does hit the the not only the consistency but just the overall power of Tenpai. And do I see that potentially happening here? I do. I actually do. I think Tenpai is in such a good position right now, especially with the Chummies coming out, the new Mall Chummy coming out. Like, you can literally play all 6, and it's literally just going to be one of those insane going second decks that just can draw a bunch and just OTK you. So I could potentially see this happening in the future. So definitely something to keep an eye on, what OCG is doing to Tenpai and Snake Eye. And then, of course, to Yubel. So to Yubel, multiple things got hit, in the sense, same for Snake Eye because of the Engraver hit and all of that. But Phantom of Yubel, I honestly think at 1 deserves to be at 1. This card is crazy. The fact that you could have multiple is nuts. The fact that it's just so free. I'm glad they finally did address this, and I hope that this is what they actually do to us in the TCG when we do get our next list. No hate against Yubel. I think the cards are really cool. Phantom of Yubel is absolutely ridiculous, and it's just too easy to summon and just absolutely free, which is crazy. Like, just being able to protect yourself against Nib and just anything, like any monster effect, just in the very beginning of your combo is crazy. Also hitting the Engraver and also the Tract. This was crazy too. Like, literally, the Engraver does not become as great an extender as it was before, and this is something that I don't actually know if this will be the route they take here in the TCG. I feel like potentially they might touch Engraver, but I don't know if they touch Engraver and Tract. I know OCG went all in because these were just absolutely the tier 0 cards in pretty much in the Snake Eyes deck, in the Yubel deck, and it definitely could be something that we could see over here. But very, very interesting, how they approach this, and I definitely think we can see, like I mentioned, the things that they did here in the OCG, they could definitely apply them over here to the TCG in due time. So definitely something I wanted to address because I think it's very important to always keep up and see what the trends are in the OCG, because a lot of times they do filter over here to the TCG as well. And then the semi-limited, this was just pretty crazy. Just so many different things. Ava going to 2. I know we got Ava back as well. Drytron is not really doing anything like in the OCG. Sadly, I don't think it's going to do that much in the TCG, but who knows? I could be proven wrong. Terratop, it's just not doing anything. Pankratops, this card just needs to go to 3. Invoker, honestly forgot about this card. Like, it used to be such a troublemaker, but it's just not what it used to be. Same thing with Luster Pendulum, not really a huge a huge deal. Like, unfortunately, pendulums are just, again, not what they used to be. Gold Sark to 2, I think, was cool. Could definitely something that, can just filter over. Like, it's just something. They're bringing back cards that aren't really, like, super impactful, going to break the meta or anything. So that Fusion Destiny to 2, literally just, we just had outside of Heroes. I mean, when is the last time? Like, we don't have Verde anymore, so I don't really know, like, what this would do over here in the TCG. Like, any of these, like, crossovers are not really going to have, like, much impact. Same thing with Branded Opening. Like, we've already hit Fusion to 1, so that's already a huge hit. So it'd be interesting to see if they would potentially do this, if they really want to hit Branded more. But I think Branded is in a fine place, minus the puppet. Literally take away the puppet, take away Albion, and you literally solve the problem here in the TCG. I'm going to touch these two before we talk about the elephant in the room. But Gozen match, literally doesn't matter. We have it at 1 in the TCG. I don't think that's changing. Nightmare Throne being another hit. You hit the consistency of Yubel as well. So this, because, you know, they don't have terraforming. I think they don't have terraforming in the OCG. Correct me if I'm wrong. So that's really, you know, another huge hit. Being able to, you know, have only 2 copies of Throne, you know, it does lower your consistency. And then, of course, you know, losing the consistency of the Fiendsmith engine and then losing 2 Phantoms is nuts. And potentially I could see this. I'm not sure if this would be the route if they want to attack Throne. I really feel the first hit to Yubel will be the actual like limiting of the Phantom, and then this would be interesting if they do this as well. Again, I'm not fully sure what their approach would be, but I think like just again using this as a blueprint, it's definitely showing that there is reason to actually hit Throne as well, so it'd be interesting. And then of course Maxi. We don't have Max here in the TCG. I don't think we're getting it back. The reason for that, I think what they're finally doing, and a lot of players have said this, and I definitely agree, the Mulchummies are the new replacements for Maxi. They're not going to be Maxi, but they're going to be the best replacement that you can have that are a little more balanced in a sense, and I just don't see Maxi coming back. Since they actually had the balls to semi-limit it, it might actually get limited to 1 or actually banned on the next OCG ban list, and then it will be gone, and I think that will be the end of Maxi. I don't see it actually coming back here in the TCG. I think that we'll have Fulros and Perulia, and if there's any other Mulchummies that are still to come out, because there has been talk about more down the line, I think those will be the cards that will replace Maxi, and Maxi will just stay on the ban list indefinitely. So that's all I have to say about that. I think it was really interesting just overall how they decided to do this, because everyone thought Maxi had this impenetrable plot armor, but it definitely got cracked this time. So definitely something to pay attention to, because if they're going to semi-limit it, possibly limit it or ban it on the next list, we can rest assured we're probably not getting it back here in the TCG, and that our Mulchummies will be our replacement for that going forward. And then these Unlimiteds are just not really, like, I don't think there's anything really to talk about. They're just pretty much caught up with us. Like, the Dragon Rulers don't do anything, even at 3. Not going to do anything. None of this is really relevant. I would say the only thing to keep an eye on is maybe, like, honestly, no, there's nothing. There's literally nothing. They have 3 Lightning Storm. We have 2. That's really, like, the only difference, I guess. Yeah, not much to say on that. I don't think there's any... Sadly, for the Unlimited, there's really no impact. I don't see any of this. I'm just saying that this will probably be, you know, just telegraphing that we're going to get the Dragon Rulers back at 3, and it's going to make no difference, unfortunately. So, yeah, so that was my thoughts on the OCG ban list, and I'm going to cover this real quick, because everyone's going to say, Slim, why the hell are you talking about Master Duel? I do play Master Duel, just so people know. All of this is pretty crazy. Poplar going to 1 in Master Duel and in OCG was one of the main things I wanted to highlight. It means that there is potential that Poplar can get hit here, and they can just literally limit all the Snake Eyes cards in, you know, in the TCG eventually, like they did OCG. So just something I wanted to highlight. The hits to Ibli, the hits to the Tier Elements field spell, the hits to the stun monsters, none of that I think is really going to even factor over here. But I think, you know, some things to keep an eye on. Like, a lot of these hits were not that great. You know, Kieran to 2, all of these cards to 2. Literally, we have the Spirit Gate at 1. It's just showing that eventually Yubel will get hit. It is going to get hit even more directly on Phantom of Yubel. I feel that if both OCG and Master Duel actually hit it, then it means here in the TCG, it's definitely going to happen on the next list. So that's just kind of telegraphing that that's what's going to happen in the future. So these were the 2 main things. These other things are just not really that relevant. That's why I wanted to cover it real quick. And then these were the cards that just got unlimited. Again, the only cool thing, I guess, would be maybe Change of Hearts coming to 3, but, you know, I mean, yeah, it's not once per turn, so I mean, I guess that's kind of cool. And then Chaos Space, I guess, because I think Chaos Space is at 1 still, I think, for Dragon Ruler. Or Dragon Roll for Dragon Link. So yeah, overall though, my overall thoughts is that to always pay attention to OCG and sometimes Master Duel. I'm not going to fully count it out, because I believe that, you know, you pay attention to both formats, because, you know, again, there is technically 3 formats. We have OCG, TCG, and we have Master Duel. So it's always good to pay attention to what, you know, they're doing over there, because it could definitely filter over here to the TCG. But that's all I got for today, you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. Please open the comment section and definitely share your thoughts. What do you guys think of both lists? Do you think they will have an impact on our future TCG ban list? And overall, if you did enjoy the video, be sure to smash that like button. Please give me feedback. And if you guys like these type of videos, I will bring them more to you in the future. Be sure to check out the sponsors in the description below, especially Dueling Guard, and use my code to save yourself some money on checkout. And let me know again the type of videos you want to see in the future, and I'll be bringing them to you soon. But that's all I got for today. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching.